Bem-vindos ao Abaixo de Zero, um podcast da Federação de Desportos de Inverno de Portugal. O meu nome é João Cardoso e venham comigo descobrir um pouco mais sobre as modalidades de inverno. Ora, no episódio de hoje vamos voltar às modalidades de gelo e em particular ao curling. O episódio é dedicado à Taça de Portugal de Curling Duplas Mistas 2026, que teve lugar no Dundas Granite Curling Club, em Dundas, no Canadá, entre os dias 20 e 22 de março. A taça em si tinha 9 equipas em disputa e eu tenho comigo, para me ajudar a contar esta história, os vencedores da taça, a dupla Ashley Spalding e Chris Skidmore. Ora, a Ashley e o Chris não falam muito bem português e, portanto, vamos fazer esta conversa em inglês. E, before anything else, welcome and thank you for being present. I know the time difference is a bit wonky. we found a way.
Make it work.
Yeah, I think I'll start by asking you a bit about the journey. So I think it is your first presence in our podcast, first of many, I hope. I think the question that I need to ask is, how did curling start for both of you or each of you?
I'll start. So back about over 10 years ago now, in my early 20s, I was working with my friend, co-worker at the time, and he and his wife, so Evan and Jess, shout out. They were big into curling. They had curled in Oakland, and then when they moved to the Sacramento area, they kept curling. And they were always talking about how great curling is, how I needed to try curling. When were they going to get me out on the ice? So I rallied up and made my friends go with me for a birthday party in 2015. And I had so much fun. Evan taught me how to learn to curl. And most of my friends either didn't live here, even if they liked curling, they didn't live here, or they weren't keen on going back. And so I didn't want to really try and sign up by myself. So I kind of shelved it as like this thing that was really fun that I wanted to keep doing at some point. And then when Chris and I were married, we were friends with Evan and Jess and hanging out with them a lot. And they were kind of like, hey, you like curling. What about Chris? And so we went back right before the 2018 Olympics. And we're hooked. And then it was like fortuitous that it was that 2018 Olympics because the U.S. won gold. So it kind of like, we had fun at our Learn to Curl. Chris was really into it, but then the U.S. won gold and it kind of sucked us in even more. And there was a beginners league at our club to, make it easy for us to join. And there was just so much people on the U.S. around curling at that time that it made it really easy for us to join up it. And then we've been curling ever since.
I think then the question that I need to ask is, so how did the FDI Portugal come into the picture?
It was actually a Facebook group because I'm old and I'm still on Facebook. So, so one day I had joined the Women in Curling Facebook group, and I don't even think it was very active, or I never posted on it. But one day there was a post on it saying, "Hey, we're trying to, get Portuguese curling off the ground. We're looking for anyone who's either a Portuguese citizen or can become a Portuguese citizen who curls already." And I've thought for a long time that I should get my Portuguese citizenship. I'm eligible, but I just not had the, incentive to go do it and get all this stuff together. And so I thought, I'm eligible. I just haven't done it. I curl. So I contacted them and I got set up with everybody, introduced to Joao, and got to go to a training in Canada, which was awesome. And then you guys organized this. So Chris and I went to the first one, and we've been to 3 out of 4 of these events now.
Yeah, you've only missed the one. This was the 4th edition. We'll get to the PCCMD in a moment, but I want to get Chris to talk a bit about his experience, because you not only embraced curling, you made it almost a lifestyle.
Just to be involved with curling is incredibly fun. Like you said, it's become a bit of a lifestyle. I travel to about 8 to 10 events a year. So that it's really become a big part of our lives.
And speaking on the technical side of curling, obviously you mostly play four-person curling, both of you. But in this competition, you were playing as a mixed double. So how does that work? Is that a big difference in the approach to the competition? Are you a bit troubled with this change? How does it play with your skills?
I was saying I spent the first 6 years of my curling career playing lead. So it's a lot of guards, or maybe you draw behind your guard. So that part of it makes sense to me. And then now I've been playing Vice lately, and it's still, if everything's been set up properly, then hopefully it's a Vice I can still draw in. And, the second has blown stuff up and I can draw in. So I've been, I feel like the positions I've played the most in four-person curling are kind of either setting up the game or drawing in. That helps me at least in that it's not that dissimilar from the way that I play versus like if I were a second and I was always blowing stuff up, then this would be a lot different. But it helps having Chris because Chris has skipped. I mean, he plays, different positions on his men's team, but he started skipping right away when we started curling. Whereas I only more recently started playing back end, and even then I've Vice not skipped. So having Chris still be the one to say like, hey, like, I'm not sure about the line. What do you think we should do? And I defer to him a lot, and less now that I've been playing back end and I think about that. But the first few years we played doubles, I just was like, I don't know strategy. I don't know all the lines. Like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. So that was like a nice having him there. Now I think I weigh in a little more, but I completely deferred to Chris. I think the first couple of years we played doubles.
What I heard is, again, I know that you both started in shared ice, so ice that is not dedicated for curling. What I've heard is that shared ice makes or trains amazing line readers. And I guess that's a bit of what you are, Chris, a magician reading lines.
It is an advantage when we have skips who only curl on dedicated ice come to our events. We have amazing ice. We do have amazing ice for our hockey ice, but at the same time, it does have tricky lines. So there are some skips who come in thinking they're going to beat us up, and then they struggle. It'll be an open hit, and they don't understand it. Oh, it drifts to this side. So it's there's falls and ridges and just things you have to pick up really fast in all these nuances that are a lot trickier than most dedicated ice facilities.
So back
So
to
it's strengthened us through yeah.
So going back to the connection to Portugal. So Ashley, your family roots, they go back to the Azores, the island of Flores. We had a lot of people from Flores in the competition, but I wanted to ask you, how does that make you feel, being out there on the ice, knowing that it means more than just a bit competing. You're starting a sport or introducing a sport to a whole community. And does your family say anything about that to you?
Yeah. Like you said, my mom's from the Azores, and my mom, is a big family, really close-knit family. My grandma watched us every day when my mom was at work when we were kids, and tried to teach us Portuguese, and I kind of rebelled. I don't want to, which I regret now. But yes, I've always been extremely close to that side of my family. My aunt lives in Tahoe, my mom's sister. When we go curling in Tahoe, we stay with her. And so it's really cool. Like, that's always been the family I've been closest to. And it's the only part of my family that has, like, we are Portuguese. We are from the Azores. I mean, typically, like, white people, and my dad's like, I don't know, I'm a mix of a bunch of European stuff. And so there's not like that specific thing of like, go X country or this. So Portugal has been like the one that I knew, like, I'm Portuguese. I don't know all the other stuff, but I'm Portuguese. And so it's really cool doing this. And also, like, when we participate in these things, and there's any articles about it, when there's any press, anything like this podcast, my mom sends it to my grandma and she's excited to read it or listen to it. And she always tells me that. So knowing that, like, if we do well in this, or if there's anything about this, that my mom, my grandma's going to read it and she's going to get excited more than she would with like just a normal curling tournament, which I don't think is that much attention to all the times we go curling, um, is very cool. And yeah, and it's kind of given me a kick in the pants to like go get my citizenship that I wanted to do for a long time. Um, yeah, it's more exciting to me than just our regular curling.
And going back to Chris, now that you've mentioned citizenship, I know that Chris, this is a long-standing objective of both of you actually, to get that Portuguese citizenship. Ashley's in the process of getting it. You are just waiting for her to get hers, to get it through marriage. What would it mean to you to actually go out and be able to represent Portugal?
It would just be incredible. Like Ashley said, her family is quite close knit, and it'd be great to represent for her family. And then, we joined this process in the federation, I feel, for fairly early on. So I now have a vested stake in this and want to see it grow. And in everyone within the Portuguese Federation, the competition, you, Fiona, Tim, etc., have welcomed us with open arms and become close friends. So I want this to succeed, and I feel like we have a chance to build something. And the goal once we get citizenship is go win, build it up, bring some sort of recognition, and see what we can do on the world stage and go from there.
Well, there's a lot to there's a lot to do still. We've been at this for a bit, but still have a long way to go. Let's go back to the competition. So again, the Taça de Portugal de curling, the Duplas Mistas, a long name. We usually just call it the PCCMD for short. What were your expectations coming in? Were you just focusing on winning it all, or were you just going game by game and let's see how this goes?
My expectation, I wanted to win. There's obviously very, very good competition and good players in that event. From people on the junior circuit, people who've represented Canada before, and people who've been curling a lot longer than us and have a lot more practice time. So very aware of our limitations and what we're in for, but felt like we had a good shot. So see where it goes. But yeah, our goal first was playoffs. Then from there, we'll see what we can do.
And you did great in the round robin stage. You've only lost to what turns out to be our national mixed double, Arlette Rodrigues and Ben Silva, who are going to be representing Portugal in the World Mixed Double qualifying event. And that was, you finished second in your group. And Ashley, how was it preparing for the playoffs? I think I remember you telling me you were just happy to play on the Sunday at the time.
I mean, we always, I think, you go into any bonspiel or tournament, you want to make playoffs. You want to make Sunday. Like, making Sunday is the thing. That's the goal always. And if you do that, then the goal shifts. Like, well, now I want to win. I mean, we wanted to win, like Chris said, we wanted to win going into it. But, then you lose that first game, you start to question, like, okay, well, are we going to get there? Like, do we have it in us this year? Are we even going to make playoffs? And then, when we finished the round robin, we won that out. The confidence was back up. We're like, okay, we can do this. And even if we don't do it, we've got 3/4 chance. Well, Chris made the comment, I think, that there's a 3/4 chance of getting a medal once we make it to Sunday. And I was like, don't say that, because then we'll be the 1/4 that doesn't get it. Like, somebody has to be that team. But so I think, you know, we took the initial hit when we lost that first game of round robin. Then once the end of round robin, we were feeling really good and feeling confident and feeling like, okay, we can do this. And even if we can't do this, I think we've had a strong showing and we're hopefully going to medal. And it'd be really cool if we could make it to that gold medal game. And if we do, we might be playing, you know, some teenagers who have a lot of more energy and experience in competitive play than us, so, you know, playing on the Canadian circuit. But and we wanted to win. Like we came into this and we come into it every year wanting to win.
You had already a silver in your
Yeah.
medal case, let's call it that, from the first edition. So well, there was only one position left to get, I suppose. I think there's the case to be mentioned that both in the semi-final as in the final, you had major comeback wins. Is that something you work on, the resilience to carry on and to try to come back, or was it a spur of the moment kind of thing?
I think our playing doubles has incredibly improved our communication and definitely my the way I handle myself on the ice. So Ashley does keep me in check and not get too down. So stay positive and um, we. I don't think we saw coming back in the semifinal as until a little bit late, until maybe the sixth end. Just okay, maybe something's here. We'll see, but I think they more broke us to the point where we played loose and free, and then we just started hitting shots. But yeah, I think we had to kind of dive through, crawl through the abyss, and come out the other end, being down 8-1.
And I think on that one, I mean, the second game, no, but that one in particular, you know, I, for one, was really glad that you had a rule that we can't shake until after the sixth because I think Chris would have wanted to shake like after the fourth at the fourth end break. I think he would have been like, "We're shaking and this is done." So for my sake, I'm glad that was a rule because you know by the time it got to the sixth, I think I think after the fifth we had scored, so we were at 3-8, which is still you know bad. But then after the sixth, I think we scored one more, and I think it was 4-8. And I think I told Chris, you know, all we have to do is average two per end for the next two ends. If we get two per end, then we go to extra ends and we can deal with it then, and we can figure out, you know, we need to steal. Um, and so I kind of had that in mind of like, okay, we can claw back. Like doubles is so much different than four-person curling, where I mean, when you curl at the level, the club level that we do on hockey ice, like yeah, big ends happen and in fours, but in doubles, you've already got stones in play. It's just so much easier, I think, to get a three-ender or something like that. And so I had it in my mind this whole time. Well, if we get three in any of these ends, okay, then we're close to back in it. If we get two, like we can, it's much easier to piece together a comeback, in my opinion, in doubles than it is in four-person curling. Um, and so, you know, I felt Chris like wanting to give up and thinking we were done. And I kept, and I kind of said like, I think at one point I said, "Smile, like, come on, we're gonna keep doing this. Like, we're gonna keep going." And we got a couple more points, and then I think you know at some point, like he said, we kind of just were like, "Well, who knows? Like, we're probably gonna lose this. Let's just have fun." And he said like. I was like, okay, here we need to like do X, Y. I was trying to figure out what we need to do to shot for, and he just goes, "We need to get good," and then that kind of became our motto. We're like, we need to get good. Like, I think we just need to make shots and do it. So we did it, and then when we got down by one only in that last end, we were like, okay, we see it. Like we see at least the tie here. Like it's, and then I think we were just like hyped up and like anything is possible. We're in this game. Like whoa. So we were riding high on that. I think at that end, and the momentum obviously had shifted. The second game never felt like that much of a hole. I mean, it was like it was never that big of a hole. I think we got down what 4-1 or 5-1. I don't remember, but it was
Five,
For one.
five, five,
4-1.
four.
Five,
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1
Yeah.
for a big hit, and that feels like they were lights out and they were making everything, but we felt like we were also playing well. Whereas when we got down 8-1, we felt like we weren't playing well. Like we felt like in the 4-1, we were just missing thing by an inch and giving them the like if we missed by an inch, then they would take the chance and like take it as an opportunity for themselves. And we were so that one, like we were just like, okay, we're still in this. We're holding them to one. Like we're never letting them have a big end and we can come back. And then we tied it up. And then it was like, all right, now we faced a very scary seventh end. And so, like you said, it was kind of like you get in those moments where you're just like fingers crossed, kind of eyes closed. I'm just gonna like we can't. It's out of our hands. I think both of those games, ended with them having hammer. So like the last couple ends. So we had a lot of things where we just, but we've done what we could do, and now we just wait for their last shot and see what happens.
And I was going to ask if there was at any moment that you thought, well, you've already talked about the semi-final, but on the final, was there any moment where you thought, okay, we got this. This goal is not going away now?
I think once into the last shot. I think that was that. I mean, that was it. That was, once.
I think our
we
last
kept-
shot was not theirs.
Our last shot, yes, our last shot. We had a perfect, and it wasn't the shot we tried for, but it was a perfect plan B of locking on to a corner freeze so they couldn't hit us out, hit out shot stone. So I thought that was it. That's when I knew we had a pretty good chance, unless they hit a really difficult tap or something. I think there was still jams happening if they tried. But that's the first time I thought, okay, this is ours.
Yeah, like
but nothing before then.
until then, like when Chris was just putting those guards back in place, putting those guards so perfectly, and then when I went to do it and I threw it heavily, I thought, oh no, did I just hand them the win because we were set up so nicely? And then when I went down there and saw that it was kind of offset corner freeze, and like the one that I had pinned on the first, my first shot was still totally protected. I was like, we were sitting there just going, okay, I do not see a triple here. Like I don't see, and if we just gotten one, I think we would have gone to extra end. So like that's fine, but we didn't see a scenario where we lost in that end, and so we felt good. We felt good there. I think when we watched their last shot, we were just like, are we going to an extra end or did we win this? Like we weren't really thinking like we're going to lose this right here. I mean, there's a possibility, miraculous like shots happen and all things like are wild, but we felt pretty good. Like, we're going to an extra end or we're going to win this.
But you were very, how should I put this, contained in your celebrations after you won. I would argue.
It was a big hug.
Yeah. We went and had a big hug.
Yeah, I
teared up.
I always feel, there's a winner and a loser, and always been on both sides. I always feel strange, if I threw the broom in the air, if I'm too loud about it. So, yeah. A quiet sentimental moment is usually how I celebrate.
So gotta get your out of the way and shake, and then celebrate it.
No, I guess it goes to show that this is a competition that has grown in the competitive field, so the athletes care about actually winning it. It's not just, yes, it is a bit of there's a fun component to it, let's put it this way, but there's also a very real competitive component that people care deeply about. That being said, you and the other teams there had plenty of support from the viewing gallery and from people watching at home. Did any of that impact in your performance? Did you feel the crowd? What was going through your head seeing that Portuguese diaspora behind you?
Well, Chris, if you want to talk, you can. But I was just saying, our crowd was at home watching online. Obviously, other people had folks there watching in person, and our we had our club is really great. People, if anybody's live streaming anywhere, we kind of keep on it. We watch each other. Our club travels a lot, so people are excited to watch when people are out of town curling. And so we've got, a Discord for our club and we've got a live stream channel. So when people are all watching, they can chat together and kind of follow the game. And so I didn't realize, we had posted on there like, hey, we're playing. Here's a link to our first game that's going to be streamed. And then we didn't even realize how good the production value was. And like there was music and chyrons and like all of this stuff. So then, and then we're mic'd up, which never happens in the States. So, like everybody, like people normally tune in when somebody's, or like at least check it out when somebody posts a link that they're going to be streamed. But I think because of all of that, like all the people at home who tuned in were like so excited and thought it was so different than what they normally see and thought it was like hilarious to hear all the teams and all the music you guys were playing at the half and just it was a whole show. So then we ended up on the feature sheet 4 times and so they were just like loving watching it and chatting. So it was like fun to get off the ice or even in the fourth end break to go see like the chat was people were commenting and and they were like keeping us in it. Like I'd go look at the chat and it would be like, oh, Chris, that was an amazing shot to end the fourth, or you guys are down, but you can still do it. Like you guys are making a comeback. Like they were all so positive, and like cheering us on and keeping us, in it, even when we thought maybe we weren't going to win. And cheering on our company. So having that was like, it was really fun. It was funny to hear the reactions because like they were reacting to things we were saying and the other teams were saying, and it was just funny to go see that. But it was also nice to go read the chats and hear them, cheering us on and hear them like, complimenting our good shots or, kind of try to keep our spirits up when the game was not going our way.
So I think the question that remains is next steps, the future. So you now have what you were missing, the gold medals. What's next? What's next for your team?
We'll join a couple doubles events where we can, try to get better and improve so we can defend our title next year. And then maybe if we're eligible, we'll try and compete for represent Portugal if we can. But yeah, we'll just try and get better. See where it takes us. We both have 4-person teams that are competing for arena regionals. Ashley's team won their regional playdown last year and had a really, really good shot in playoffs to probably win it all on their first time ever going. And so excited to see what they do next time in June. And then I have a new men's team that is coming along very well. And I'm skipping, so excited to see what we do. We'll be in Las Vegas in June.
It's all about that bureaucracy that's holding you up.
Paperwork. It's okay.
We're eligible. We want to be representing Portugal. We want to go to Europe and represent. So we are, doing whatever. I mean, there's a waiting game, but as soon as I'm through my application and Chris is going to be on it day one, and we want to get this done as fast as possible because we want to go and represent.
Well,
yeah, the enthusiasm's there.
Yeah, we really want to do it. We're so excited.
I can only wish you good luck. There's not much more we can do from our side, I think. It's patience.
The hope that when it comes, that we're still, in tip-top curling shape and ready to go.
Yeah,
we just have to get it before I age out or before I get too old. We're close to 40, so good health now, but never
Chris,
know.
40 is very young. That
It's fine.
Don't forget that part. It's the new 20s, I heard.
Before we're eligible for seniors, so we're happy to go represent in seniors too, but we want to represent in doubles.
Well, who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll have the mixed double seniors.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, that would also be an option. But yeah, if anybody from the Portuguese registro is listening, help us out. We could use with one more team that is available to contend for representation. It's always nice. I think this pretty much does it for the podcast. I'll ask you if you want to leave a final message, any of you.
Just want to say thank you. We look forward to this every year, and it means a lot because of the competition, but also because of the people and everything that goes into this. From, we travel 3,000 miles to get there, but you're on your side putting it together and finding ice and gathering all these people that, a few years ago, this started as 6 teams and four teams. So, yeah. And to see it grow and, like I said, we've got some good players in this, really good curlers. It's cool to see. This is not any sort of walkover event. This is a really difficult field, and it's really cool to see what it's grown into. But just want to say thank you for welcoming both Ashley and I into this, and yeah, really looking forward to it next year.
Echo what Chris said. We love coming to this event, and we love seeing everybody. When we go, it's like it doesn't feel like we see you all once a year. Like, we go and everybody's so warm and supportive, and inviting us into their homes to stay with them or to dinners with their families. And we chat with you all year. So it's just a really nice community that, even if, I'd be sad if we couldn't go. The year we couldn't go, we were so sad to miss everybody and not see everybody, because we just enjoy the curling, but also the community of it.
Oh, and thank you to Household Barbosa for hosting us every year. They are...
with their children out of the tournament. I am sorry.
Yeah, that's right. You beat Tio Barbosa in the final, so maybe next year you don't have us at home to stay.
we have beaten everyone in House Barbosa except for Rui.
There you go.
Who's 10?
maybe next year he's joining. Who knows?
Yeah. But we appreciate them housing us and being such great hosts.
Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Before we go, I also have to thank the Oriental Sport Club, who was a co-host in this event and who I believe has great potential to continue to grow this community and to have a bigger and more competitive field in the upcoming years. So this is only going to get harder. And I guess for you, it's a good thing you've got your gold already, because it's not going to get any easier. And yeah, that's it for the podcast. Com isto terminamos. Foi o Abaixo de Zero. Não se esqueçam de subscrever ao canal da FDI Portugal e deixar os vossos comentários. And thank you both for your time here.
Thank you.